Welcome to Katie Calls BS, the podcast where we cut through the noise in course creation, digital products, and business strategy. I'm Katie Miller, bringing you blunt advice, real action steps, and the occasional F-bomb because building a business is hard and the BS isn't helping. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Katie Calls BS. We talked about the trust gap between services and products. We talked about simplifying to 3 high leverage assets. We talked about automating the handoffs between them so the business keeps moving when you are not pushing it. How do we know if it's all working? I see a lot of business owners, me included, measuring their businesses in some weird ways. They measure hours worked, revenue generated, clients served, posts published, views on videos, emails sent, open rates on emails, all inputs, all activities. None of it tells you whether the business is actually getting more sustainable or just more busy. I've built that business, but it didn't end well for me. Part of why I have such a passion for digital products is because I know what happens when you can't be present live. I've dealt with burnout multiple times, had life hit me hard, and work was the last thing I wanted to do, but I still had digital products to fall back on. I also love digital products because I know how much knowledge business owners have to share, and it cannot all be shared one-on-one with clients. You guys have too much to teach and share. I'm a firm believer there's a better metric for measuring your business. While revenue alone matters, obviously, the one that matters most for anyone who is trying to build a business that fits inside a life is called the autonomy ratio. It is the lens through which everything we have been building starts to make sense. The autonomy ratio is the relationship between revenue generated and manual interventions required to generate it. A business with a low autonomy ratio generates most of its revenue through your active manual involvement. Every dollar you make requires a call, a deliverable, a response, a decision. You have to do something. You're the engine. When you stop, the revenue stops. A business with a high autonomy ratio generates a meaningful portion of its revenue through a system that runs without your direct involvement. This is where your digital products come in. They're being discovered and purchased. Sequences moving leads towards offers. Clients are being onboarded and supported with that pre-work. You're getting those notifications when you're not working of revenue. This would be that recurring revenue or automatic income that we're all chasing. You're not trying to get to 100% autonomous. That's not realistic, and it's not the goal. That's not what I want for you. That's not what any of us are trying to get to. We're trying to create a balance for you of one-on-one work with digital products. One-to-one work, high-touch consulting relationships need maintenance. Those things belong in your business. It's part of why you started your business. The goal is to raise the ratio a little bit. Here's how to calculate it in rough terms. Look at last month's revenue. What percentage of it came from products and automated sales? What percentage required one-on-one work to move it forward? If the second number is 90% or higher, the autonomy ratio is low. Every life disruption, summer schedule shift, every sick day, family emergency, every week where you just needed to slow down, hits revenue directly. There's no buffer. If the first number is growing, even to 20 or 30%, the ratio is improving. The business has some capacity to function independently. That capacity compounds over time as the systems get better and the products get more established. Now, grab a coffee or something stronger and ask yourself a couple questions. This is not going to be a huge review, but if you do a monthly CEO day, add this to the check-in. There are 5 questions to go through. You don't have to do this now, but save this episode for when you do your monthly CEO day. The first question, what did I do manually this month that the system should have handled? Every time you manually sent a follow-up that should have been automated, forwarded, something that should have routed itself, or answered a question that should have been in your onboarding resource, that's a gap. Fix one of them this month, just one. Imagine how many could be fixed if you do this every month. The second question, what new complexity crept in? Was there a new platform you signed up for? A new offer you started building? Is there a new tool that someone recommended? It always sounds like a great idea at first, but that stress test asks whether it's actually a good idea or not, if it's earning its place, if something was added in the last 30 days and cannot clearly justify how it contributes to the 3 core assets, or if it's actually doing anything for your business. It probably doesn't belong if it's not doing anything for your business. And if you're paying for it, even better. Get it out of your business. You don't need all the tools. The third question, which product performed and which one did not? This one can be a little harder to do, but look at the data. Try to be curious and not judgy. Don't be hard on yourself either. But what sold? What got opened? Where did people drop off? The product that is not performing is not necessarily a bad product. It might just be in the wrong place in your ecosystem or priced incorrectly or pointed at the wrong audience. Don't blame the marketing, because I know everybody goes straight to the marketing. Like you didn't talk about it enough, but maybe it's just in the wrong place. The stress test surfaces the question, brings it out, like what the issue is. You do not have to answer it immediately, but you do have to ask what happened. The fourth question, where did you spend time that you should not have? Was it a client communication that should have been in an onboarding document? Was there a question that came in because the sales page wasn't clear enough? Was there a revision cycle that happened because the brief was not specific enough? Those are process gaps. We can fix those. Each one has an opportunity to build something that prevents it from happening again. These are quick fixes. We could fix these things before it becomes too many things to fix and we're way too overwhelmed. The fifth question, is the autonomy ratio moving in the right direction? By any amount. If last month 20% of revenue was autonomous and this month it's 23%, that's progress. If it's moving backward, something was added or something broke, and the stress test will usually surface what that was. This is maybe 30 minutes or less, 5 questions, just once a month. That's a practice that keeps your business lean as it grows. My goal isn't for anyone to be overwhelmed with digital products, and I try to keep things simple around here. So here's the commitment I'm asking. Before you add anything new to your business, you ask whether it serves the 3 core assets or distracts from them. Before you build a new product, you check whether the ones you have are fully working. Before you sign up for a new tool, you verify that the ones you have are being used well. Or at the very least, stop paying for the ones that you have if you're not using them. Before you take on a new client type, you confirm that the ecosystem you've built can serve them. This is minimalist scaling. It's not about staying small. That's not what we're doing. It's about growing in a way that makes sense. The businesses that are doing this well in 2026 are not the ones with the most products or the most complex funnels or even the most tools in their tech stack. They're the ones where a small number of well-designed assets do a large amount of the work, where the systems are getting better over time and they're not getting heavier. The business owners have built something that fit inside a full life. It's not something that consumes them. Work is not your whole life. This is what freedom actually looks like for a service-based business. Not automatic income that replaces your salary overnight, because that's ridiculous. It's not a business that runs completely without you, because that's also ridiculous. It's a business where the ratio keeps improving, where each month there's slightly more capacity, slightly more breathing room, slightly more of the work happening without requiring your direct presence, if that's what you want. It has to fit you in your life. That's what we've been building toward, not just in this 3-episode series, in every episode of this show for the last year. The ecosystem, the methodology, the systems, the trust, the pricing, the breathing room, it's all one thing. A business that works for your life, not the other way around. I don't say one solution or one right way on this show or ever, because a digital product ecosystem is going to look different for every business. A digital product infrastructure audit is the only way I can tell you what works for you and the next right step for your business. But we didn't start businesses to be miserable. Stop measuring hours, clicks, open rates, views. Start measuring freedom, whatever that looks like for you. I don't know what it looks like for you. I know what it looks like for me. The autonomy ratio is the metric that actually tells you whether the business is getting more sustainable or just more busy. Track it. Improve it. Give it 30 minutes a month and watch what it tells you. Your business should be working for you. If it's taking over your life, you need to change something. And only you can do that. I can't tell you what that looks like. I can only tell you that you probably should use some digital products to save yourself a little time. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. If this episode hit home, your next step isn't to build anything. It's to audit what you already have. I offer a paid infrastructure audit where I review your current offers, delivery load, and where your business is relying too heavily on you. You'll get a clear decision doc and a Loom walkthrough outlining what actually makes sense next. The link is in the show notes.